Hello friends, hope you are doing well. Welcome. This is going to be an eye-opener video regarding the charges that we pay for trading as well as investing. I'm going to cover the categories like equity intraday, delivery, futures and options. So here, as you all are well aware, is the Zerodha brokerage calculator, where all kinds of charges behind each kinds of trades are provided transparently. Thanks to Zerodha, it was the first broker to provide this possibility. So we can calculate the exact things up front and everything is visible on the same page. Most of us, we think that these charges won't add much and we simply tend to ignore it. Although these charges are for everyone. However, if you are someone who punches multiple trades in options as well as someone who does cash or equity delivery trading, this video is especially applicable to you. So here we have equity intraday, here is the equity delivery, here is the futures, and here is the options. So I have taken an example, a sample trade scenario where say we buy and sell 5,000 quantities in each case uh, at the same price. Say I buy at 100 and sell at 100. So buy at 100, sell at 100. In each case, the same thing is filled. So this is because our aim is not to see how much profit we make or how much loss we make on a particular trade. So I could have entered a smaller sell price to indicate a loss or higher sell price to indicate a profit. But I have taken a scenario where we can see only the charges that we pay, um, even if we don't make any profit or loss on a particular trade. So the M2M that you see on your trade is zero, but still we have to pay certain charges because of that trade. So before we get into these details, let's first see what all the charges we in general pay. So one is brokerage. So brokerage is nothing but the one which is charged by the broker itself. In this case, this amount goes to Zerodha. So for equity delivery, there is zero brokerage, and for all other categories, there is flat 20 rupees. And if it's like it can be 0.03 percent or 20, whichever is lower. So the STT is nothing but securities transaction tax. So this one is actually charged by the government of India. So this is 0.1% on buy as well as on sell for equity delivery, whereas it is slightly small in case of equity intraday as well as equity futures, whereas again this is like more in case of equity options. So this goes to government of India, this is to the brokerage. Now this one is the transaction charges. So this actually goes to the NSE as well as BSE. This is exchange transaction charge, to be specific. So the percentages are lower in all cases, and this one is the GST, which is like brokerage plus transaction charges altogether. So 18% on, and again this is exactly the same in all cases. So this one is the SEBI charge, which goes to the SEBI, so which is a fixed 10 rupees per crore transaction. And this is the stamp duty, stamp charges, which goes to the state government where we actually trade. So these are all the charges. So now let's go to the specific analysis which we are comparing the prices. As you can see here, let me mark the prices which are of more concern here. As you can see, the turnover in all cases is same. It is 10 lakh rupees. So buying 5 lakh rupees of value of the trade, and the sell value is 5 lakh. So altogether the turnover is 10 lakh. So this is exactly same in all cases. The brokerage in case of delivery is 0. In all other cases it is 40. So 20 rupees for buy as well as 20 rupees for sell. Here if you compare the STT, there is huge STT on this particular trade, which is delivery equity, and the second highest is on FNO options. Now again, as you can see here, the next one is here we have exchange transaction charge, which is again higher in case of FNO options. So GST is a byproduct of this is more again in case of FNO options compared to all other categories because of obvious more exchange transaction charge that we have paid. So this is not directly more, this is like a result of higher exchange transactions. Let's ignore that part. So now, as you can see, this has actually made huge difference in the charges that we pay in all categories. The highest charge that we pay is in case of delivery equity because of the highest STT paid, and as we already saw in this case, it is 0.1% both on buy as well as sell leg. So that makes a huge difference. And in case of FNO options, this is like STT and exchange transaction charges. So STT is 0.05, which is again more in this case, but slightly less compared to the equity delivery. And another charge is the exchange transaction charge. So exchange transaction charge, as you can see, it is 0.053%, which is more compared to the other categories. So that's what you can see here. As these charges are not specific to brokerage, you will see almost same figures through any other brokers as well. These are the charges fixed by Government of India. So the conclusion is that these charges will mostly affect the profitability irrespective of whether you make profit or loss on a given trade. So this affects equity, cash or swing traders and investors. So if someone who invests or buys certain quantities of say a particular stock, and they plan to sell it after a few days, say after a month, 2 months, or an year, they still have to pay the STT on that particular leg, again sell leg as well as buy leg. So the conclusion is, in order to avoid this, the suggestion is to always target to trade only when your system indicates a favorable risk to reward. Okay, because you might not realize it, but on these kind of the higher charges we are seeing here will definitely add up or will eat up your profitability. But if you are someone who punches the trades again and again, so if you were not aware that delivery equity charges so much STT as well as FNO options buy or sell, both charges so much STT as well as exchange transaction. Hope this information is going to be very helpful for you. So if there is someone who has very small capital and is doing options buying, and is someone who is scalping, so they will tend to punch lot of trades. So that is where, like on each smaller trades, on M2M you won't see charges, but charges will be deducted only the night of that particular day. So the next day the total fund value that you see on your trading account will have reduced significantly. So this is why always, whatever trades you do, always be careful that you trade only when it is a very favorable risk to reward. So if you like the information shared in this video, hit the like button and share it with others. Take care. Bye bye.